Pursuant to committee practice, we'll now proceed to 2-to-1 questioning. I recognize Mr. Carey of Ohio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the ranking member as well for bringing this issue before the Ways and Means Committee today. The Child Support Enforcement Program yields a very high return on investment and ensures that the federal government works with states to provide steady source of income for custodial families to take care of children. And I appreciate all of you being here today. Any rate, I'm going to start with Ms. Tolstrup. From a statutory design, what does the current law most clearly assume of the labor market that no longer exists?
Thank you. So the child support program, as of Prowara, had and continues to have a pretty heavy dependence on wage withholding as the primary method of order enforcement, and particularly for the collection of current support. When we're thinking about the current composition of the labor market, about 7.4% of workers were independent contractors in July of 2023, which means that more than 90% were not independent contractors. And the folks on the panel have already talked about some of the technical challenges in trying to support from independent contractors. But just to note further with regard to those statistics, when we're looking at multiple job holders, so folks who hold more than one job, about almost a quarter of those, that second job is via independent contracting work. And so even though it's less than 10% of the total workers have two jobs, we're looking at child support parents, that second job is potentially income also that's hidden from the program. So some have looked at these patterns and suggested that the child support program needs to expand its capabilities. As it currently stands, we're really looking at reporting into the national system of wage employees and not particularly the independent contractors.
I want to thank you for that. Ms. Chesnick, I may come back to you, but Ms. Thornton, in your role of the Director of Child Support for the Office of the Texas Attorney General, you lead a uniquely situated agency in large, sprawling state. So how do the flexibilities in these federal requirements help Texas program be most efficient and effective in the country?
Thank you so much. Flexibility, you nailed it right there. Flexibility is key for us. I will say that I sit in a somewhat advantaged position simply because of the structure of our program. We are a state-run, state-administered program. We have 254 counties, and I can't even imagine how complex it would be running a differently structured program. So I have to acknowledge that from the get-go. But because we're state-run and state-administered, having the flexibility that we have to operate the way that Texas sees fit has really allowed us to standardize our processes statewide, using technology and policy to reduce rework, reduce variation, reduce manual work, and try to make sure that our staff have time to do the things that only people can do. So that has helped significantly. I also very much appreciate the flexibilities that the federal government has offered us in terms of our ability to run a statewide child support-led employment program. It's one of the first in the nation, and I think one of the most successful. We recently, several months ago, passed the $1 billion mark. So these are families who were not receiving any support in the prior 6 months, about 50,000 of them underemployed or unemployed non-custodial parents. And so that's been a huge benefit to us as well.
Okay, in a minute, something you didn't mention in your open or in your spoken testimony, but you did highlight it in your written testimony that I read through, the Fatherhood Engagement and Education program that Texas has. And as somebody, single mother that didn't rely on it because we never got it, but child support, can you tell me a little bit about that program and how many other states offer similar programs to fathers?
I'm not sure I can speak to the second part of your question, but I will tell you that we have in Texas for a very long time had programming specifically for outreach and education to fathers, making sure that fathers feel like they're equally our customers in the services that we provide. We partner with other state agencies. We partner with other federally funded programs like Women, Infants, and Children, our HHSC Nurse Family Partnership Program, and others. The reality is that sometimes fathers don't want to engage with us for a variety of reasons, and we want to make sure that we provide accurate information, quality information to care providers and community service organizations that fathers trust to make sure that they're getting information that's accurate about the child support program.
I want to thank all the witnesses. Mr. Gwynn, I didn't get a chance to talk to you. I never had the opportunity to work with your former boss, but definitely a legend in Michigan, and I don't say that very lightly. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.